Aloha, mahalo, and meleka likimaka as we look at OKO Grab Art number 11. In Grab Art number 11, I'm going to apologize ahead of time if I cough. I just got over a really bad flu this last week, and you know, guys know how this wintertime cold season and flu season goes. But let's dig into Grab Art number 11. Once again, it's in a 12 o'clock, our green zone. My left leg is slightly forward. Now, this is a when then attack. When my opponent goes in for the headlock, then I respond. Now, we're going to assume for a moment that we do not normally try to defend against an attempted hug, hold, lock, or choke. Usually we assume the fact is that it is by surprise, and we want to get it to stop the attack before it leads to the full choke or strangulation, or whether it's a full Nelson, or in this case the headlock. We want to prevent the choke. Well, you ask, how do we do that? Number one, we have to look at the mechanics of the choke. The idea is to cut off either air or blood, strangulation versus choking, to our lungs or to our brain. How are we going to do that in this attack? It's a front headlock. So whether he pulls us down into it, or whether it is from the side that turns into a front headlock, as we'll see in number 12 as a side headlock. But we have this concept called a triangle space. I'm going to create a triangle with these three sticks. This represents the triangle between his arms and around my head. Now I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, simulating that my opponent is actually starting to constrict that space. My head is here. I need to find the area to where his arm, represented by the black stick, is not going to come up and to restrict my air or my blood to my brain. So you notice there's this nice big space here in one corner of the triangle. Immediately first thing I'm going to do is to turn my head so that I can still continue to breathe even though the triangle gets tighter. Once again, if we have this triangle, I want to turn my head so that my airway is towards the open end portion of the triangle. So when it collapses, I'm still able to breathe. My other first motion is going to be, I'm going to put this stick down for a moment, is to grab. I'm going to grab at his wrist or his hands to help pry away when the time is right. In this particular case, I'm going to use my left hand. So once again, he comes in for that headlock. As he does so, this is a right arm headlock. In a right arm headlock, the open space is towards the crook of the elbow. So I'm going to rotate my head towards that open end. As I do so, I'm going to grab his arm. Now, this is a Chris insert. It's not in the original technique for Grab Art number 11. I'm going to insert a distraction strike. I need to soften him up to be able to get his arm off of my head. So I'm going to insert a strike either to the bladder, to the groin, or to L4, the spot just above the kneecap on the insides of the legs, to soften him up for a moment to allow me to get out. So once again, he grabs, I grab, I'm going to strike, I'm going to peel that arm off of me. Notice I still have control of his arm. I'm going to borrow balance, borrow force. I'm going to knee to, once again, soften him up, strike him, and then I'm going to release, cross, cover, and on guard. So once again, from the beginning, I get in the headlock, grab, turn my head so I can breathe. Distraction strike, pull that off. Knee, and cross, and cover out. So what concepts and principles are here in Grab Art number 11? This is a when then attack. When he does something, then I respond. We examined triangle space, trying to find in that triangle where I can turn my head to keep my airway open. We reintroduced the distraction strike to be able to get that arm off of our body, borrowing balance and borrowing force for the knee, and modifying our opponent's height, width, and depth, giving us time. This has been OKO Grab Art number 11. Aloha, mahalo, and live pono.